Hi there, it's Matt from Greatness Every Day, and I am really excited to give you a few tips on what I think is one of the most underrated skills, and that is practicing something called active listening. We listen for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's to become informed on a topic, sometimes it's to be entertained by someone, and sometimes it's to help someone solve a problem. Now, I want you to think about someone in your life who is a good listener. Do they interrupt you when you're speaking? Do they tell you how to feel? No, they probably don't do any of those things, because when we have conversations with people, we want to know that the person we are talking to cares about us and respects what we are saying. I had lunch with a friend the other day, and while we were eating, I recognized that he is a great listener. He gave me his full attention during our conversation. He was engaged in what we were talking about, and he asked great questions. So I left lunch feeling really good about meeting up with him. I would have left with a totally different feeling if we had met up and he stared at his phone the entire time and just chimed in every once in a while with yep or mm-hmm. Okay, that made me feel good. Here are my tips to improve your active listening skills. My first tip is to show the person you care. Make sure that you're facing the person you're talking to. Maybe nod your head if you agree with something that they say and smile. Let them finish their thoughts. Do not interrupt them. It's also a good idea to get rid of any distractions in advance that might come up during your conversation, like maybe you want to silence your phone. Maybe you want to tell somebody that you're about to have an important conversation and don't want to be interrupted, and anything else you can think of. My second tip is to be open. You are listening to them, so expect to hear anything and everything, but most importantly, keep an open mind. You might be trying to help someone and you don't want them to leave that conversation feeling that they just poured their heart out and were super honest with you and all you did was judge them. You want to build trust with them so that in the future, if they feel that they need to come and talk to you about something, they will. My third tip is to watch for nonverbal cues, all right? So our body reveals about 55% of what we're actually feeling, despite what we say. So keep an eye out for these cues. If the person you're talking to is relaxed and feeling safe, they will most likely sit back and have very open body language, and their speech is going to be confident and comfortable. On the other hand, if they are nervous or maybe they're angry, they might be easily distracted, unable to finish their thoughts, and fidget. Their speech will probably be at extremes, either really, really loud or really quiet, and they might not be confident in what they're saying. My fourth and final tip is to ask questions for understanding. Asking clarification questions is something that I do when I'm listening to someone a lot. I wait for the other person to finish their thoughts entirely, and then I say something like, I heard you say this. How did you feel when that happened? Or maybe, sorry, I didn't understand when you said this. Can you explain to me what that meant? Notice how I repeat what the other person told me before asking another question. This helps me check in with the person that I'm talking to and make sure that we aren't on different wavelengths and we move through the conversation as smoothly as possible. Questions like this allow me to guide the conversation and get a deeper knowledge about the topic while hearing it from the person I'm talking to, not jumping to conclusions.